I was playing Smash on Twitch as I usually do, and I came to a realization. I am tired of this game. But wait, no, I thought to myself, you're not really tired of this game. You've been playing Smash since 2002 when Melee popped out. And that was right. I still had love for the game. I was just tired of the lack of love put into these characters. Hello everyone, my name is Lady Luck herself. You may recognize me from Twitch, but I'm trying to start a YouTube channel, so welcome indeed. Before I get too into this, these are my opinions and you're free, of course, and entitled to your own. In fact, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them in the information box below and we can talk more about them there. I want this to be an open discussion, so I encourage it even. And also, this video will not be about the DLC characters and how they ruin the balance of the game or anything crazy like that. We will touch on the DLC characters, but not quite in that light. Instead, this is about how the characters in Smash are represented, and more specifically, not only who these characters are, but who they are in comparison to who they're represented as in Smash. We are going to do this through the talk of origins, relics, and character archetypes. So let's get this started, and we will start with origins. As you all know, many of the characters in Smash come from their own game. Let's use Nintendo's Mario, who comes from Mario. In his games, Mario has always been known for his various jumps and small stature. He's also typically the all-rounder character type, as seen in his various sports games and spin-offs. All of this carries over into Smash, where he's small and nimble. To balance his agility, he has relatively weak combo-heavy moves with the exception of his fair and up smash. Additionally, nearly all of his moves harken back to his games, Flood, Cape, Fireball, with very few of them being relics from older Smash titles. The only one I can think of is his down air, but I could be wrong. This makes Mario a solid and fun character who is very beginner friendly, which is also how he tends to be in his games. And that's awesome, but not all of the characters in Smash are given that sort of love and care. My favorite example of this is the King of Darkness, Ganondorf. Oh yeah. So, what do we know about Ganon? You in the back, tell me what you know about Ganon.
He's a bad guy and he steals Zelda and he tries to take over the world.
Great, that's good enough. For those of you who don't know who Ganon is, he is the leader of the Gerudo, being born the only male of the race, and his main goal in the series is to help his kind flourish, usually in direct conflict to Zelda since she's typically in rule at the time. He does this through the use of dark magic, his Triforce of Power, and exceptional swordsmanship. Now, in Melee, Ganon is a Falcon clone. This was done because they only had 13 months to complete the game and wanted to fill up the roster quickly, so they Control-C'd Falcon, tweaked 4 of his moves, gave him a new skin, and called him Ganondorf. This new Ganon is a painted shell of his former self. He is no longer the dark magic-wielding swordsman we knew and feared, but instead this slow juggernaut that apparently has a sword that he only uses on the windscreen. And this was excusable at the time. I mean, we understood that the game was rushed, but then there was Brawl. Despite being remodeled after Twilight Princess's Ganon, he failed to bring any inspiration into the game except a new coat of paint. They even redesigned his sword just to have him continue to not use it. It literally became a taunt, somewhat furthering the joke that it was. I personally wish Ganon had even a glimmer of his character showing through his moveset. Initially I thought that he would be the hard-hitting swordsman, but Ike now holds that title, so I came to a different conclusion. Imagine if Smash took inspiration from Wind Waker, which is the game that goes deepest into Ganon's motivations. What if Ganon brought not only the Wind Waker art style, but his dual-wielding katanas like he did in the final boss scene of the game? He could still have a bit of the dark magic with a really basic projectile, or maybe just as the effects of his swings. He could also be an interesting mix of a nimble, heavy swordsman, with his weakness being a lackluster recovery, as if we don't have enough of those, honestly. I'm just throwing that out there, but not only would that be truer to who Ganon is, but it'd bring another interesting fighter and playstyle into Smash as opposed to his semi-cloned Falcon moveset. The origins of a character should be clear in the character's design and their playstyle. If Ganon's a sword fighter, then why the hell isn't he one in Smash Bros? That's like if Ryu came into Smash with a sword and played like Toon Link. Sure, it looks like Ryu, but that's definitely not who Ryu is and how he's portrayed in Street Fighter. Which is the entire point of having him in Smash to begin with, to make you interested in the character and their games. But here's the reason why I chose Ganon. A lot of people love Ganon's new character. They enjoy him being this big, bad, hard-hitting juggernaut who kills with any move at any percent. He's practically the only powerhouse if we want to count Bowser and DK being in close comparison, and at this point he's made a name for himself. He is the BM character, and this is where the next problem in Smash's characters is. Let's talk relics. So, what the hell is a relic? By definition, a relic is an object surviving from an earlier time. In this instance, I was referring to Ganon's moves from Melee, where he was a Falcon clone. One thing I've noticed about Smash is there are a lot of relics in the character's movesets. Ganon isn't alone in this treatment. For our next example, I'm bringing another fan favorite, Fox. Did you know that Falco is actually faster than Fox in Star Fox Assault? Not unlike Mario, Fox is actually portrayed as an all-rounder type, while Falco is the fragile quickster, but Smash would have you think opposite based on their movesets. Also, Wolf is completely busted in that game, but we are just gonna ignore that. In Melee, they have an excuse. The game came out around 3 years later, but Brawl has no excuse. It's so easy to imagine new moves for these characters, especially when they had a new game to derive inspiration from. I always wondered why the blasters in Smash act nothing like the blasters in Assault. In Assault, the weapon can be shot in quick rapid succession, or charged like Mewtwo's Shadow Balls or Samus's Charge Shot for a stronger hit. You could actually run around and jump while charging the blaster, but were unable to do any other action until you let go of the charge. I think this would be a very interesting mechanic to see them capable of in Smash, especially with Falco's higher jumps and Fox's quick movement speed. What barriers did was negate any and all damage for a certain time. I think the max was a solid minute, or a certain amount of damage was blocked and then it was destroyed. Though hard to implement, maybe a weaker version of the barriers could be applied, where you ignore the knockback of a single hit and then it goes away. Kinda think like Ryu's down B, I suppose? That would replace the current down special. I don't know how you would quite balance it, and it's just an idea, but I think it would make Fox and Falco closer to who they actually are in game, since it's using weapons and ideas from their games instead of relics from past Smash games. I find it very strange that Smash will make a brand new character who's very true to their game, think Villager, Bayonetta, kind of Cloud, but then leave the characters from the past Smashes with the same, if not slightly tweaked, movesets. Fox, Falcon, Falco, Ganondorf, Peach, Samus, Luigi, the list goes on. How come this attention to detail isn't put into every character? Is it too expensive to remake Ganon into a sword fighter? Or is Sakurai too lazy to imagine something up? I mean, we've had Zelda for a long time now, there's plenty to use there. But I digress. At first I thought it was like changing the moveset for a character in a traditional fighting game. Most professionals are used to how the character plays and they don't want to relearn the character, so to speak. So developers try to keep their playstyle intact as best they can. Plus, most fighters don't have an extensive story, so there's no origin that their moves come from, unlike Smash Bros. However, Sakurai has stated many times that Smash was supposed to be a party game. And what do people like in party games? They like shiny new characters, moves, and things to play with. So I assume changing relic moves out of a character for newer, more relevant moves wouldn't be so heavy on the game's integrity. But let's move on to the final reason why these relics are not only killing the characters, but unfortunately, how they play. Character archetypes. Smash is very weird when it comes to its character archetypes, mostly because half the cast have them, and the other half are so random that we come up with our own archetypes for them. My favorite archetype in Smash is the mix-up archetype, because I'm pretty sure there's just so much random shit cobbled together on that character that the best way to play them is to mix it up on your opponent. And that is 100% not the definition of a mix-up character, y'all. Some characters have very well-defined archetypes, like Rob, who is a heavy zoning character, and his moveset reflects that just as well. Then we have characters like my main squeeze Peach. What's her archetype? Go on, tell me. I can wait. From looking at her moves alone, she has no definitive archetype. No set of her moves screams zoner, rushdown, hit and run. It's just that some moves like her turnips are good for zoning, and not anymore, and some moves like her dare are good for pressure. This is because Peach has so many relics from her melee playstyle that we just use the good moves and whatever style best fits her, not what was intended for her. In truth, I don't think Peach was intended to have an archetype in Melee, but she kinda played like a bruiser, that down smash, In Brawl, they toned down her kill power, along with practically everyone else's, so she became more of a dainty, well, mix-up character. Woo. Regardless, Peach is best archetyped as a pressure character in Smash 4, and I think, honestly, in general. Pressure characters try to invade your space and punish your reaction to build damage. I say Peach should be pressure due to her float mechanic, which allows her to attack safely from the air. This, along with her stronger aerial game, should make her hard to deal with, aka pressure. And if this is true, then why don't the rest of her moves facilitate this? I've got 2 examples, and we're gonna start with the worst one, which is Toad. I like the idea of a counter on a pressure-based character, but what does Toad do to apply pressure? Actually, what does Toad even do in general? Are you afraid of Toad? Because if you are, you shouldn't be. The idea is that if you hit Toad, you suffer 18 damage as a counterattack. In actuality, not only does that move not come out, but 90% of the time it does 3 damage and they pop out early enough to punish Peach, while she's lagging from landing the move in the first place. That move, my friends, is a relic if I've ever seen one. Doesn't work in Melee, it doesn't work in Brawl, and it still doesn't work here. Can we please just delete that move, for the love of God? It is so awful. Make it hit like Roy's counter, or throw people in Witch Time, and then we'll be talking pressure. I kid, but seriously, one of Peach's customs for Toad can put attackers to sleep, which I think is not only fitting for Peach's character. In Super Mario RPG, Peach had a spell that put enemies to sleep. Plus, her final smash clearly puts people to sleep, in mid-air by the way. But that's a very good high-pressure payoff for landing a counter that comes out frame 10 on a pressure-based character. And sleep is a very underused status effect in Smash. Only Jiggs and... I think only Jiggs has it at this point. Alright, so now we're gonna move on to the second move. What is Peach's forward tilt doing in her moveset? Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, it's grace, she literally kicks you in the face, but it's also a juggling anti-air? Ideally, you'd use your forward tilt to pop your opponent into the air. Then, to keep them there, you'd spam forward tilt under them when they fall close to the ground, not unlike how Mario uses his up tilt. But in reality, forward tilt is so laggy, so small, and active for so little time that it rarely gets its job done. Usually you whiff, or the opponent blocks it for your imminent punish. And God forbid you forward tilt into a sword, there's no invincibility on the move itself, so you'll lose that trade every time. So, how could we make Peach's forward tilt fit her pressure-based archetype? I, for one, think it should be a semi-kill move. Kinda like Shulk or Ganondorf's forward tilt, literally it can be the exact same forward tilt, just give it more vertical knockback. Currently it kills at I think 150 plus. Let it seal a stock at say 115, fresh, with no rage. That way, if she throws it out and you block, great job, you get a hard punish and it's well deserved because she just literally tried to end you. But if you get antsy and you catch a heal at 115, sorry, that's GG. You should have been looking for that option since she's a pressure-based character. But I think that's the solve for all the random garbage moves in Smash. If they don't have utility, make them hit hard. Melee did it, and Melee was great. Hell, that's Melee Zelda's whole character archetype, Glass Cannon. A Sour Spot Fair or Bear did like 9 damage, and a clear hit killed you. Have you seen her up tilt? But actually, have you seen her down special? That's why she's my favorite character in Smash, period. She was a hot mess, but damn was she fun. I bet Melee Zelda would haul ass in Smash 4, but I digress. In conclusion, Nintendo 1 has too many relics left from Melee, 2 is too lazy or too frugal to remake character movesets to better fit the character origins and archetypes, and 3 lacks solid character archetypes because of their refusal to fix problems 1 and 2, which in turn makes matchups weird and character archetypes questionable 50% of the time. I hope that the new Smash addresses these problems. I have huge hopes that the teased Breath of the Wild Link will get rid of all of Link's melee relics and bring in a new playstyle to the game. Maybe he'll be our first zoning archer? Because by the way, our current and only archer, Pit, is actually a swordsman. Thank you for watching! I'm sorry if this is like a little bit flustered or weird. This is my first time doing a video quite like this, but if you like these sort of videos and you want to see more discussion-based videos, especially Smash-based videos, smash that like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below about what you thought. Or if you have any gripes of your own or ideas on how to better balance characters to fit their playstyle, as well as keeping them true to who they are in their games. If you want to get spanked by my Peach in Smash, feel free to visit me at twitch.tv/theLadyLuck herself, or follow me on any of my other social media, including Twitter and Instagram, and I'll put all that information down below. So, I'll see you next time, and everybody, may the RNG be in your favor.